Hey everybody, it's December 28th, 2008. I'm Sonic Suns, and once again changing to an entirely random topic, physics. Not the first time I've done physics, but, you know. Entirely random in the sense of having nothing to do with the last several videos I've made. That's what I do. Okay. There are four fundamental forces, apparently. Now, in all this, I don't know very much about the subject. But apparently it boils down to gravity, electromagnetism, which is electricity and magnetism is really just one force. They're called the strong and weak forces. The strong nuclear, weak nuclear forces, things. I'm not even sure what those other two are. Apparently they operate on very small scales or something. I assumed it all, makes sense. And they figured out why there are four fundamental forces, and they're further trying to figure out how to unify them into one force or something, and see how that works out. Here's the deal. The forces are ranked according to their strength. And gravity, for instance, is the weakest force. I'm not exactly sure what the orders of the other one are. I think next up is electromagnetism. In any case, but gravity is the weakest of the four forces. I keep hearing this, some random article about, the cosmos or whatever, and they'll say, gravity is mysterious. It's the weakest force, and, we haven't figured out blah, 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 and is there such thing as anti-gravity? Is there such thing as... Back up a minute, guys. How is gravity the weakest force? And I'm not saying that because, gravity is clearly very strong, and it's pulling me down to the earth at this moment. No. How is anything the weakest force? How do you measure one force versus another force? The fundamental force. Guys, to me saying gravity is weaker than electromagnetism is like saying that north is more purple than west. Now, how is north any more or less purple than any other direction? I suppose depending on where you're standing, you might look towards the north and see purple things, and towards the west there are non-purple things. But if you stand in a different position, you'll have an entirely different, things that are in various directions. What are you all talking about? It seems to be like an extremely well-accepted scientific thing. I don't even know what the concept of that is. I try to look it up, for someone to explain it. And someone was like, well, clearly, gravity is an extremely weak force. It's not just weak, it's extremely weak. Because a simple magnet can hold up a paperclip against the pole of the entire Earth. And I was like, wait. The implication here is that somehow gravity has an advantage in this situation. Like, gravity's got the entire Earth, and electromagnetism only has this little handheld magnet. But in what way does this give gravity an advantage? What, because the Earth is big? So is volume? Is that what we're measuring here? We have a lot of volume over here. A lot of, mass or something. Okay, but I could just as easily imagine a really small object with intense gravitational force, like a black hole, right? Which is, okay, fine. Beyond the event horizon, it's hard to say what's really in there, but the idea of, of mass crushed into an extremely small package, but has an extremely powerful force. I don't even need to go to a black hole necessarily, just anything that was really dense, would exert a lot more gravitational force. And furthermore, this magnet, how powerful is the magnet? We have this magnet that's you presume it's like a regular magnet you stick on your refrigerator or something, and yes, it will hold up a paperclip. Why is that the standard, though? Why are we working with refrigerator magnets? What about, this coaster? This is a magnet. Not really, it's made of wood and everything, right? But, there are protons and electrons in there, and I'm willing to bet they're not perfectly balanced. So there's absurdly small electromagnetic force or forces or whatever coming out of this. Right? So clearly, this can't pick up anything. This, oh my gosh, it's failing. I'll get you any metallic object you want there. And it won't pick it up by electromagnetic force, so clearly, gravity is more powerful. Guys? is the standard. How exactly would you take two fundamental forces and, like, pit them in the ring, you know, put them in a cage match on equal footing? It's entirely based on the situation. And in any given situation, gravity might be more powerful, or electromagnetism might be more powerful, or there's strong or weak nuclear forces while we're at it, and all that random crap. Right? Right? Clearly, gravity is so weak. It pulls stuff around. Electromagnetism also pulls stuff around. Sometimes a magnet will pull something off of the Earth, and then, you know, particularly if it's something hooked up to an electricity supply, and you can, like, tune it, you know, to higher or lower power levels. Like, look, see, you have, like, a paperclip here, and you have, like, this thing, and nothing's happening. Turn it up, turn it up, nothing's happening, and then finally, and you get a paperclip. At a certain level of power, electromagnetism wins. Below that level of power, gravity wins. What level of power is considered, like, neutral, you know, and both forces are on equal footing, and we can compare them? How on earth is north more purple than west? I don't even know. How would you compare them? I'm very baffled by this, but it must be something I'm not getting, because, like, you know, everyone's in this. Everyone knows. Someone please explain this to me. That'd be great. Thanks for watching. See you later.